about solution. They don't have to be like rocket. It doesn't have to be rocket science, but simple solutions that can make it better for the student, that can make it better for all the other students in the classroom and for the teacher.
So how does a student know when they come back that they're also required to do work?
That is my job. First, okay, like you know, like with the student, I would say, Derek, do you want to go? I give him a choice. Because it's always a power struggle if you say, we're leaving. They're going to say, no, I'm not. Do you want to go for a walk? No. Do you want to do another activity? Do you want to color a Spider-Man page? Yes. You're going to color a Spider-Man page. Then, okay, first you will color a Spider-Man page. Then you will sit at circle time. Once the Spider-Man page is colored, he's going to sit. First, you're going to go for a walk. You're going to go to the calming room. Then, only for 10 minutes, and I say 10 minutes, and they watch me put the timer in, and punch in the timer, the 10 minutes in the timer. 10 minutes in the calming room. Once the timer is finished, we go back to class. We do an activity. So it's preparing the student, it's letting the student know ahead of time what's going to happen, and not just surprising them, because you're not gonna get the results you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. But I guess my question is, teachers have tried that with some students, right? So how do you get to a point where they, teachers will say, I'll give you $1 million, and they'll still say no to some teachers?
See, the reason why is because even though teachers have tried it with the students, they have not built a relationship. No matter what, you have to build a relationship. You have to build a relationship with that individual. It doesn't matter what setting they're in. They have to see that consistency with you. They have to have that relationship with you. That's, to be able to trust you to say yes or no to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I think that's the bigger question then. So how do you establish these relationships? What do? You
establish the relationship by, if you're with a student, if you know you're with a student every day, you acknowledge that student. Not just when you're asking them to do work. You acknowledge them when it's downtime. Have a conversation with them. Learn about them. They'll tell you their favorite color. They'll tell you their favorite song. They'll tell you their favorite act. This is how you build. This is how you build a relationship. Ask what their favorite song is. Ask what their favorite color is. What their favorite. The reason why I use a Spider-Man. The reason why I use a Spider-Man example to you is because one of my students loves everything comic. I'm a comic geek, so I know about the comics. So so then we would, when it's our downtime, we talk superheroes. We talk, we talk superheroes. We go on the computer and we look for different coloring pages of superheroes to color. We play superhero games. That's building a relationship. And you see, it's according to the individual, because my next student, he loves the TTC. Loves it. So then, when it's his downtime, he wants me to draw the TTC map. And I have to draw it the exact same way and write in all the stations. So then, that's what I do. Because I know that that's something that he likes. And he's so happy. They're both so happy when you're doing, because they love those things. You're taking time to get to know them. If the teacher's not doing that, then how they expect for them to even respond to them in the way that they want them to? It's not going to happen.
So yeah, it sounds like you start with the relationship. You start with what they like, and try to build a rapport, right?
So it's not what they like, but who they are. Yeah, it's who they are. So it's not what they like, but it's who they are.
Okay, so let me ask you about. Okay, you said you're informed on policy and I guess new mandates for certain things with kids with special needs. How do you respond to those things when it comes down and it changes your role or changes the roles of others that you're working with?
Well, I still have to follow them. That's the first thing. That's the first response. I still have to follow them. There may be some that I don't like, but whatever whatever it is that I don't like, I'll voice it to my supervisor. But then there's nothing that they can actually do about it, right? But I still have to follow whatever the procedure is. So that is how I respond to it. But then I also try to figure out, okay, what if this situation happens? How am I going to deal with that? If a policy is saying one thing and then there's a situation that's contradicting it, how am I going to deal with it? Sometimes common sense comes in the way, but then you have to make sure that common sense is not how do you put it's not going to cost you your job. So you have to make sure that you're finding that common sense is somewhat coinciding with the policy.
So there's some compromises, I guess.
Yes.
And you have to find, like you were saying about knowing policy. You also know the kind of the loopholes or the things that are you could use to the advantage of students.
Right.
If you think the overall policy is against students. So if you feel the overall policy is not for students, you could, if you know it well enough, you could find ways to make it work for the students.
Beneficial, yes. Yeah. To the students. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's being informed. There's other people that don't want to be informed. They just do what they want.
Right.
So
and that can get you into a lot of trouble. Some people get away with it, mind you. But some people, a lot of people don't. So that can get you in a lot of trouble. So I always go with whatever policies put in place. Always follow them. But use common sense at the same time. You can compromise somewhat. You can, because you have to be able to bend a little without breaking. Bend the stick a little without breaking it.
Yeah. How do you respond to teachers that are, I guess, passing the buck? And
how do I respond to teachers that
are not taking their responsibility and say, well, this is your student, I'm only a teacher, or I don't have to include this student because they're...
You know what? Yeah, I get what you're saying. This is, my job is, okay, I will be assigned, I'm assigned to 2 students right now. However, even though I'm assigned to 2 students, I know there will be a classroom of 20, 24 students. Once my students are down and I see that the kids are behaving in a certain way, that the teacher needs help, I will help that teacher. If the teacher is not responding to the kids in the way that she should, I still try to help the students, because that's what I'm there for. Whatever the teacher's problem is, I just let her deal with it, and I just try to do what it is that is best, that is best for the student. And it will make me feel bad knowing that, okay, the teacher, even though the teacher is present, he or she has checked out of the classroom. And the students are running amok when they should be doing something. You understand? When they should be learning something, or, and there and I'm not really doing anything because I'm very proactive. So I try to make sure that things are, are done ahead of time. I don't like to leave things at the last minute. Even if things are done at the last minute, I try to execute it, like quickly, and professionally. So once I'm done, once my work is done, what my required work is done, and my hands are free, and I see a student running amok, I'm attending to that student, even if that student is not my assigned student, and I'm helping that student because whatever help that student is receiving from me, they are beneficial from it. And when you look at a student and you're helping that student, and that student is looking at you and saying, Mrs. Smith, thank you, you're the best, it's all worth it, man. Like, it's all worth it.
Is there something, okay, those are teachers that you're in the class, you see a need, so you kind of, fill that void because the teacher, for whatever reason, is not engaged. Is there a way you would follow up with some teachers, or because if you're not there, it's not going to happen. Those kids will be ignored. So
I'll give you an example. There was a teacher, oh God, every time she would come on scene, she was assigned to give the teachers work, and every time she would come on scene, she would do Zumba. She would close the door and it was just Zumba. I would call her, in my mind, I would call her the Zumba teacher. Every time I see her, I'm like, we're doing Zumba, So when she, when she would not execute what she was supposed to, I didn't find that it was my place to go and tell anyone else that she was not doing it. If she was doing something that was putting the student at risk, then that's when I would open my mouth. See, because that's important. That's a policy. That's a procedure. That's a policy. If she's doing something that is putting the student at risk, then I step in and I say, absolutely not. I have to go. I have to report this. What you're doing is not okay, kind of a thing. But she's just doing Zumba with the kids, and the kids are just having a grand old time. So, but she was found out, not by me volunteering that information, but just by someone else seeing it and saying, okay, this teacher is not actually doing anything. Something needs to get done here, So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, because I think it's also about your role and teachers and EAs in the hierarchy in boards, right? So how much can you say?
Yeah, you have some teachers, they don't give a hoot about that, and they will give you, they will give you leeway in helping them because they get it. They get that you are there to help them. They get that they're the ones that actually in the front of the board and teaching the lesson, teaching the lesson, but not actually teaching the lesson, but they get that. It's the EAs that's actually getting down and doing the dirty work. Because I don't know how it is in any other board, but whatever students that we're assigned to, once they are taken care of within the classroom, there's also students that are not assessed, that are struggling. So it's my job to make sure that those students are okay, and I am modifying that information that the teacher has spoken to the students, about, that I modify that information where they understand it. So I'm actually the one that's actually really getting down to the nitty gritty and actually teaching that information. So you have teachers that understand that, and they work well with that because they get it. And then you have those teachers that, I'm the boss here, kind of a thing. That's, when it's like that, I just ignore those people. I acknowledge them when need be, but I just get my job done, and that is it.